What's up, Bills Mafia? I am your host, Devin Long, and this is the Down South Bills podcast. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, let me get into my instant reaction on the Bills versus the Panthers preseason game. It was the first real game in the new Highmark Stadium, and it didn't disappoint. It was obviously a preseason game, and I don't want to overreact, but there was a lot to like, especially from the defensive side of the ball. But we'll start with the offense, and of course, the best player in the league, Josh Allen, looked like the best player in the league. Josh Allen was 6 for 8, 111 yards and a touchdown. He did take a couple sacks, and we have to watch out for that pressure. I'm not sure which side it came from. I have to look back at the film and see which side it came from. In the red zone when it happened, it looked like it was from the right side of the offensive line, but I'm not too sure. I'll let you guys know when I look back at the film. There was more under center play action though, which I love. Josh Allen has always, since he came into the league, been one of the best under center play action passers in the game, and so it's nice to see that Brady incorporated that. There was also screen game to the running back, and we usually see screen game to Khalil Shakir, but it was nice to see the screen game being incorporated to the running backs, which was something that we kind of knew would be incorporated when Brady brought in Pete Carmichael. And we know Pete Carmichael is not necessarily running the offense, but he is helping Joe Brady on that offensive side of the ball. McCole Hardman also had a nice handoff, which was a nice wrinkle to the offense, and nice to see him contributing a little bit on the offense if he is going to indeed be our punt returner, which we'll get into a little bit later. DJ Moore had 3 receptions, 61 yards on 4 targets. He looked very comfortable immediately. Him and Josh Allen have built that rapport throughout training camp and OTAs, and you can tell that immediately. You could tell that immediately in the preseason game. He had a crosser route that was wide open, a comeback route, an outbreaking route, and it looks like Josh Allen has found him a legitimate weapon. Josh Allen said in his post-game presser that, hey, he's going to make it a point to get DJ Moore the ball, and teams are going to have to react to that. And I think that is a great mentality to have as long as his interceptions don't rise up like they did when he was throwing to Stephon Diggs. Although him and Steph did have great games, and they had a great career together, but I don't want to see those interceptions go back up how they were before, because those did cost us games more. Won't say more likely than not, but those did cost us games. Khalil Shakir, 2 receptions for 41 yards, 20.5 yards per catch. And it's nice to see Khalil Shakir running more than screens. Khalil Shakir has a very good skill set, and I think we're going to see that opened up this year in the offense under Brady as the head coach. Keon Coleman had a big catch on 4th down. Nice to see Keon Coleman have big catches. Catch on 4th down was from Kyle Allen. He had a touchdown from Josh Allen. And he had a couple really good grabs. It's right now it's him and Josh Palmer for that wide receiver 3 spot. Keon Coleman was leading it going into this game, and I think he's still leading it leaving this game. Josh Palmer, I don't think he had any catches, and Keon Coleman had a touchdown and a big 4th down catch. So I think that keeps Keon Coleman where he is at wide receiver 3, which I think is a good slot for Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman was brought in to be that X-receiver, and there was a lot of expectations that I think were pretty unfair to him when he came to the Bills, and it's nice to see him slide it where he can really take advantage of his opportunity. James Cook had several good runs. Outside zone looked good, and Joe Brady spammed it. He spammed it several times, but it looked good. James Cook, I believe, had 5 rushes for 21 yards, which is nice. Again, don't want to overreact to that yards per carry or underreact or anything. Just liked what I saw from James Cook in the running game. Other than that, on the offense, like I said, Kyle Allen looked pretty good. Still scared about the backup quarterback room, but the quarterbacks looked pretty good. Kyle Allen looked better than Shane Buechele, but Shane Buechele didn't look completely horrible, but Kyle Allen did look better, and he looked pretty good. Frank Gore, 4th-string running back, ran well, had a touchdown late in the game. Ian Wheeler ran well, had a touchdown late in the game. Stephen Gosnell, somebody who players like, coaches like, he had a nice catch, which is nice to see him getting involved in the offense as someone who's probably going to be on the practice squad in this season as he was last season. And then getting into the defense, which was, of course, the biggest story. The first team had 3 straight 3-and-outs on Bryce Young and the Panthers offense. The tackling was excellent. The run defense looked much better. The man coverage was tight. The new scheme just ultimately looked really good. I think it's obviously the preseason. There's going to be more wrinkles, and there's going to be more things that we see. There's also going to be different personnel. There's people who didn't play who probably would have played if it was a regular season game. Cole Bishop, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. those guys probably would have played. Maxwell Harrison probably would have played if it was a regular season game. So definitely gonna look different. But those for the people that was out there getting 3 straight 3-and-outs on Bryce Young, I don't think that was nothing, and was excited to see that. The defense definitely came to play. Jim Leonard has been coaching those guys great, and it's nice to see that came to fruition out on the field. Getting into the players individually, though, Deon Walker continues to ascend going into his second year, which is just beautiful to see. I mean, he played well. He was strong against the run, and it's just a big encouraging sign to see him in the backfield so much. Running at Bryce Young, there was a picture going around of him just running at Bryce Young, and it looked like a big bear running at a cat. You know Bryce Young's small, and Deon Walker's like this, as the guys say, large human. I think that's Greg Thompson who says that. But yeah, big encouraging sign to see Deon Walker just being in the backfield, being disruptive. Terrell Bernard I think he was at the off-ball linebacker. It looked like Dorian Williams was running that middle linebacker, and it looks like Caleb Elam's Orr was as well. And if Terrell Bernard is on that off-ball linebacker, I think that's the best spot for him. He made several plays. He looked more active. I'm not sure if he's 100% healthy. The ankle looks swollen from like pictures I saw at practice and stuff, but he looked pretty good in this preseason game. He made several plays. IGB started in place of Maxwell Harrison. I do think Maxwell Harrison would have played if it was a regular season game, but IGB did start this game, and he had great coverage reps. He had some pretty good coverage reps against Ted McMillan, against Xavier Legette. He was physical, he was competitive, and that's what you want to see from your rookie corner. He didn't get any penalties, and that's a thing coming out of college, coming out of Ohio State. They said IGB's very grabby, and he got away with some of those grabs his senior year, didn't get away with them his junior year. So something to watch with IGB, but so far so good. He was a part of those 3 straight 3-and-outs, and he was at that corner position opposite of Christian Benford. So nice to see the rookie handling his business. At the safety, starting was DeMar Hamlin and Geno Stone. Surprisingly solid early on. Stone had a face mask penalty, which killed a fourth 3-and-out. It would have been a 4th straight 3-and-out in the first half, but Stone had a face mask penalty on like a quarterback run or something like that at the end of the first half, and then he got beat on a slant route at the end of the first half, which gave Carolina their first points of the game, which was honestly annoying because Cincinnati Bengals fans hate Geno Stone. Geno Stone, you are a veteran. Geno Stone, you cannot give a face mask penalty on a 3rd down stop. You just cannot do that. And then say what you want about the slant he gave up on the touchdown. I think you should play the inside on something like that, like on the goal line. Obviously, they're running a slant. Like, it could have been one of those chip routes to the outside, but I think as a corner, as a safety, whatever, you should play the inside down there if you're in man. He got beat on a simple inside slant, and it's just annoying, really annoying for me because I'm not a fan of Geno Stone, as you could probably tell on this rant. But as I'm saying this, I don't want to underreact on preseason. Geno Stone probably won't be playing. I think Hamlin's above him. I think Jalen Kilgore. If Kilgore can get ahead of Geno Stone, like I think if his roster breakdowns come and hey, we got to choose between Geno Stone, we got to choose between Jalen Kilgore. I think Jalen Kilgore is definitely making the roster. I think DeMar Hamlin, since he plays special teams, will be ahead of Geno Stone, and I think we have our 2 starters in Cole Bishop and CJ Gardner-Johnson. But we may keep 5 and then Geno Stone stays, but I'm just not a fan of Geno Stone. And we also have Jordan Hancock, who has of course been playing like slot corner, so he hasn't been playing safety a bunch, but he is another safety technically, so get Geno Stone off my roster. Yeah. TJ getting into some of the rookies. TJ Parker had a sack, his first real game, good start. Want to see more pass rush consistency, but it was nice to see TJ Parker get a sack. Jalen Kilgore, who was mentioned a little bit before, had a big 4th down stop, turnover on downs. Zane Durant, nice tackle for loss, good disruption late in the game. And then getting into some more players, TJ Sanders looked good, another D-line worth watching. He had a good pressure on that sack that TJ Parker got. And I believe TJ Sanders also had a tackle for loss, but again, don't quote me on that. Jordan Hancock, who I mentioned before, had Jordan Hancock made several plays. It seems like I kept seeing that number 37, number 37, number 37. Jordan Hancock seemed to be all around the ball making several plays. So excited to see him continuing to ascend as well, especially in a new role as a slot corner. And then Mike Dana, who came from the Chiefs. He was recently a starter, and it's nice to see him beating up on some backups. He had 2 sacks late in the game, which was really nice to see. I won't say hopefully he makes the team, but if we need him and he outperforms, say, Javon Solomon or something, it would be nice to have like that veteran person who can maybe get us a splash play here and there in the defensive line rotation. And then getting it to cornerback 4, Kani Walker versus Toriano Pride. It seems Kani Walker has all but wrapped this up. I mean, he had an interception in this game. Really good game. Right now, he's CB4 locked in for me. Toriano Pride did not look really comfortable in this game, and he hasn't looked better throughout camp. So I think it'd take a miracle for Toriano Pride to jump Kani Walker. I'm not sure if Kani Walker should be our CB4 going into the season. Maybe we pick up Tre'Davious White or something like that. But hey, if they have faith in Kani Walker to be our CB4 after what happened to Dane Jackson last year against the Broncos and us always having to put in like a terrible corner because Christian Benford or somebody goes out and then getting toasted for it, like if they're comfortable with Kani Walker being the 4th guy off the bench, then hey, maybe I should too. And he did have an interception in this game, and it was a very impressive interception. So interested to see the CB4 growth as we go into the season. Returner Hardman versus Pettis. It seems like Hardman is the guy. Pettis didn't do well enough. He had a muff. He did win a go ball that Bouchel missed him on. He won the route and Bouchel missed him, but I don't think that's enough because he's probably not going to be featured in the offense much. So I think Hardman's muffing still concerned me, with the fact that Pettis muffed in this preseason game doesn't help the fact that I'm talking about Hardman's muffing, and he didn't at least muff in this game. You can't muff in the preseason game, especially when you're fighting for a spot. So it's probably Hardman's job to lose. But the biggest takeaways overall, the defense, of course. 3 straight 3-and-outs against the Panthers starters. Tackling was good. Run defense was good. Man coverage was sticky, and the new scheme, all in all, looked good. DJ Moore on the offensive side of the ball looked comfortable. Keon Coleman had a touchdown. Kani Walker, CB4 right now, and Kyle Allen looked pretty good as the Bills back up. And so, yeah, it's preseason. We have to, of course, keep all of this in perspective. We don't want to overreact, underreact, as I mentioned throughout the pod, but plenty of legitimate positives. We have the Cleveland joint practice coming up next, and I'll be excited to cover that. All the things going on, DJ Moore versus Denzel Ward, Jared Verse, and we have some clips from Spencer Brown killing Jared Verse a few years ago. So that'll be something that's interesting, seeing that pass rush against our offensive line and their corners versus our wide receivers, and then even seeing their crazy quarterback battle. That'll be something that's interesting to talk about. Who's throwing us the picks? Is it Deshaun Watson or is it Shedeur Sanders? Either way, we're probably going to be getting some INTs off those guys in Cleveland. But what did I miss from the Panthers game? You guys let me know if you saw anything in the Panthers preseason game that I missed. But again, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And once again, go Bills.